It's been a bumpy journey for Bottineau Light Rail, especially after the original route fell off track last summer. Now there's a reboot in planning. The Metropolitan Council is in the process of deciding a new route for the Blue Line light rail extension. The previous route was abandoned due to a lack of agreement with BNSF Railway. To move the project forward, the Metropolitan Council launched a survey this week, asking the public about their priorities for a new route. Then, coming up in February, there are 2 listening sessions scheduled for you to hear updates and ask questions. You can find more information on the Met Council's website, and we've posted a link on our website too. The Maple Grove City Council plans to consider possible action at a future meeting against one of its bars accused of violating city codes. That's according to city officials. Back on November 21st, police were called to Maple Tavern, where a woman claimed she was assaulted. No charges were ever filed. However, the city learned the establishment was still open to customers well past its allowed closing time, which is a violation of its liquor license. Police also reported several people described as highly intoxicated outside of the bar, including a bar manager, which is another violation of city code. The City Council discussed the issue this past week, but couldn't take any action because it must schedule a public hearing. This week, the Brooklyn Park City Council will consider approving another development for the 610 corridor. Twin Cities Orthopedics wants to be part of a 2-story medical office building in the 610 Crossings development, which is near the recently approved Raising Cane's restaurant and Panera Bread. This land was originally to be developed for a big box retailer, but instead the request is to develop the site for 4 smaller uses, one of which is a medical office building. And also in City Council news, Robbinsdale is working on a project to clear out the cattails on South Twin Lake and Ryan Lake. The cattails have gotten to be so thick they impede the flow of water, and it could be a big problem if there's a large storm. Bids to remove the invasive species came in around 3 times higher than expected, so the City Council voted to reject all bids. The city will work with adjoining communities and watershed districts to see what can be done to remove them. North Hennepin Community College will host a virtual event to help people cope with loss and grief due to COVID-19. The event on Thursday, January 28th, aims to help people recognize loss and provides techniques to cope. And it isn't just aimed at helping people grieve after the death of a loved one.
In all honesty, grief is also any loss. It can be losing a job. It can be the loss of your friends, your family, your loved ones, not being able to spend time with them, just even the loss of a normal schedule every day. It's a process that we go through is grieving.
You can learn more on how to register for the event on our website, ccxmedia.org. If you haven't had a chance to meet Golden Valley's newest resident, a caveman named Zugzug, there's still an opportunity to make an introduction at Theodore Wirth Park. Photojournalist Dustin Scholl and reporter Delane Cleveland went out to say hi, and they filed this story.
People come to Theodore Wirth Park in Golden Valley for any number of reasons.
It's a beautiful day. Go for a walk in the woods.
Some visit for the beautiful scenery, and others for the opportunity to see wildlife in their natural habitat. But there's something else in the park that's been drawing people as of late.
Wow.
Treasure hunt.
Yes, a treasure hunt.
Somebody posted it on Facebook very cryptically, didn't give a description of where it was.
That is, if your idea of treasure is a life-sized Neanderthal completely trapped in ice.
His name is Zugzug. He is as anatomically correct of a caveman as we can make it.
Theodore Wirth Park is now home to a frozen caveman.
Our younger brother was snowshoeing over here the other day and saw it, so we just thought we'd come over and check it out.
Who's become quite the attraction among people of all ages.
Cool.
Local artists originally made Zugzug as a prop for an award ceremony.
We spent weeks and weeks to build this thing, and we had it on display for maybe 4 or 5 hours. And since then, it's been sitting in storage and then in my garage for months on end. And every day when I go out in my garage and see that thing sitting in there, it was kind of depressing
The same could be said of current events.
It naturally draws you in.
So Zach Schumack and his buddies thought it was time to take their Neanderthal friend out of storage.
We finally decided to pull the trigger and say, you know what, let's put this piece somewhere out in nature where people have to actively go find it, create something else for people to talk about besides, what we're all kind of used to right now.
The goal was to make Zugzug look like the real deal.
I really did quite a bit of anthropological research into the physical characteristics of a Neanderthal.
And they somehow transformed a mannequin into an axe-holding caveman covered in 10 layers of epoxy resin.
I wanted it to look really real. I wanted it to really impress folks. And I tried my hardest to make it as realistic as possible.
The results have been nothing short of amazing, according to those who find it.
Better than I thought. It's so lifelike. It's great. Good time to get out and enjoy our parks too.
It looks like a real person inside the ice.
There was a little girl here yesterday who was just, her eyes were huge and she was just looking at it in wonder and amazement.
Anyone wanting to see Zugzug with their own eyes will have to get out and find it themselves, as the artists wanted people to enjoy their natural surroundings.
Well, my husband and I have been getting lost in the woods for over 40 years, so this was just perfect. Today we got to see a Neanderthal man encased in ice. What more could you ask for?
In Golden Valley, Delane Cleveland, CCX News.
If the winter weather has bikers out there dreaming of a future road trip, head on down to a new store in Maple Grove to get ready.
Cycle Gear isn't just motorcycles. We do cater to ATV, UTV, snowmobile. So we have something to offer to all kinds of different riders within our community.
Cycle Gear opened just before Christmas in the shops at Arbor Lakes. It's the second location for the chain in the state.